Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Happy Tuesday. Things have changed in the workshop. I wonder if you can guess what it is. There's an elephant in the room, isn't there? Anyway, today we're going to be doing the next 4 stages and a Fanhome release of Build KITT from Knight Rider. Okay, so in these 4 stages here, we're going to be starting to do the first bulkhead, and we're also going to be doing one of the chairs as well. So the only thing I need today is just the interior of the vehicle that you can just see there, which we carpeted with Mike Lane's mods. If you haven't seen the video where I'm carpeting that, just check up out here. I've pinned that video there, and you can see me putting the carpet in there. That doesn't come as standard for this, but that is available through Mike Lane's mods. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link in the video description, and you can get this all the way from pack 1 from Fanhome. Also check out the Fanhome site because they've just added 4 amazing things to that, namely the DeLorean, the Ecto 1, the Eleanor Mustang, and the Starship Enterprise. Just trying to think what it was then. But we're on Knight Rider today, so without further ado, let's get cracking. And it's also going to start with stage 55 today, and just turning to this stage, as you can see, we're going to be doing the bulkhead, and we've got some reservoirs and stuff to go on that. So by the end of it, it's looking just like this. So I've got all the parts for stage 55 here, but we also need to dig out what we were working on in the last pack, namely this section here. So let's get this open. And the first thing we're going to put into place is the fuse box. That looks like this, and that's just going to go right here onto that bulkhead. It is going to be held in just from the other side here with a BP screw. So I've got that here. Let's get that all the way in. Perfect. The next thing we've got is the windscreen wiper motor, and that's just going to go next to it like this. Everything's going to be BP screws here. That aligns it because there is a locating lug in there. Just pushing that into place. Turn it over, and again BP screw to get that into place. Now we've got the heater core cover. Now, even though this has got some details on the outside, it's actually going to be this flat side here, which is going into the 2 holes that we can see there. So that's going to go in like that. Once again, held in with BP screws just from the other side. So that's 1. And this one's 2. Now, coming out of the upper post of that heater cover, we've got a pipe to go in here. And it just gets put in there. I'm not gluing it in because that went in really, well, there's a lot of friction, so that's not coming out. Just put that to one side because I'm just going to be making up the expansion tank cover here, which just looks like that. And this 2 sections are just going to go together like this. And as you guessed it, it's going to be held in from the other side with a BP screw. So once that's tight, don't over tighten it. We'll have one complete unit there. So then we're going to be taking the heater housing here, and we're going to be putting the expansion on top of that. It's got a tab just at the back here, which is going to go into this hole here. And it's going to be held in once again with a BP screw from the other side. So I always like to do it this way, so I'm holding the part and the screw together. So not only is that going in, I can ensure it's going in straight, as you can see there. And then quite simply, the last thing on this bulkhead, we're going to be putting this into place here. And once again, it's going to be held in from the other side with the BP screws. So 2 of these, 1 in this side, 1 in this side. And there we go, that's that firewall complete. That looks like that, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 56, we're now going to start the first seat. So just quickly flick through to that stage. And as you can see here, we have got this cushioned area here, which is going to go under the seat. So by the end of it, we've got the bottom cushion completed. We've done seats like this before, so they are going to be quite springy. But let's open this pack and see what it's looking like. Now, you know what? It's about -6 out there today. So I have got the heater on in here. You can tell it's cold because I've battled off about 4 spiders so far today. Now let me just start by saying is I love that. Look at the texture of this. So it's got a rubbery material, as you can see, but it's got a lovely texture on top just like that. Okay, so what we're going to do first is take this foam padding here, and that's just going to go inside here, making sure that these tabs are on top of it like that. Then we're going to be putting the base in. It goes in this way, so the flat side's facing towards the sponge. And while we're doing that, again, I'm putting the tabs on top, and they're going to go into each hole that we've got around. This is going to be, don't be afraid to be a little bit manhandlish with this to get everything in. But there we go, that's all lined up there. And then as you can see here, we've got some DP screws. And quite simply, in every single hole that you can see here, we're going to be putting a DP screw. So I believe that means in total, we've got 6 to put in place, 3 on each side. So I'll get all of these in and we'll see what that looks like. I've got 2 more to put in. It is important when you push these in that you actually let the screw bring the plastic to this rubber material. Don't push down on it, because if you do, there's a chance that it's just going to go straight through that hole and it's not going to hold that in place. So that stops that happening. So again, I'm actually, let me load this screwdriver up. Put this in. And I'm letting the thread pull the plastic upwards rather than me pull it down. But there we go. That's all in place. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So that leads to stage 57 now. And again, just turning to where we need to be. We've got the frame now that we're going to start putting onto that rear bottom section of the seat there. So by the end of it, it's looking like that. We have got the mounting points here to put it into the floor pan as well. So that looks like that. Quite a few little details in this one. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take these 2 brackets for the chair here, and I'm going to be putting these together. There is sort of like a cut opening there. So when I push this in, get this lined up, it's going to fit flush in there. It should be able to hold itself as well. So it looks like that from that side and that from that side. So this is going to go into the slot of the chair here. So as you can see on this side, we've got a lug and a flat lug there. It's going in there like that. And then that slots in like that. And again, we're going to be putting a screw in there, BP screw. And that's going to hold that bracket in on that side. Let's put that to one side because we're just going to create the base now. And quite simply, if this is what the base looks like, with these raised sections facing upwards, I want to take the metal, this is metal cage, and put that over the top. And as you can see, that's now going to be able to slide backwards and forwards in there like that. But we need to keep that into place, so we're going to secure that in from this side with DM screws. I am going into metal, so I'll put that into some oil. As a matter of fact, it's probably best to oil these pieces up anyway, because obviously you want it to go backwards and forwards in that channel. So I am being a little bit more generous with the oil than I normally am. But let's get that all the way in. Now I'm making it tight, but not too tight, because obviously you still want this to be able to move, just like that. All that's left to do then is to take the seat and this section here and just put these over the top. Perfect. And they're going to be held in with 4 BP screws. Now obviously you're not going to see the bottom of this, but you probably will notice that you can see the oil from where I put that on. I'm leaving that because I want that seat to be lubricated, so it's not going to stick, it's not going to squeak, and it should be absolutely fine. But I do want to make sure that the oil stays there and doesn't go on the actual seat of the car. So 2 more screws to put in. There you go, that's in place, and that is all there is to do in that stage. So the last stage of this pack, this is stage 58. Just turn again to the back. You can see a little bit of the magazine there. And as you can see, we're going to be doing the back of the seat now. Same way, putting the padding in, putting the whole seat together. And then when we've got the finished seat, we do get to put this in the floor pan. A very big pack, this one. So let's get everything out here. Okay, and this time we're going to be starting with this back of the seat here. It's going to be going into the main seat this way round, but again we need to put some padding in. So I've got the padding here. It's just going to fit into this slot just like that. and then we can put the top over here, and again making sure these tabs go over the top here. And again, don't be afraid to use a little bit of force on that. There you go. And then we've got a nice cushioned seat there. So first off, this is held in with a couple of different screws this time. These are MP screws, and I'm going to be putting one in the top, just here. Get that into position, and then one just into that point there. Now these are just holding it lightly into place because these are only going into a little bit of rubber, so don't over tighten them, just enough to hold them in. The main bulk of it's going to be held in on these screws here, and they are LP screws. Put that one back there again, and I've got 5 of these to put in, exactly like we did on the last seat. I'm putting them through the hole, but I'm letting the screw bring the plastic up like that. So I'll put the other 4 in. And there we go, that's that in. That looks pretty cool. I'm then going to be taking these 2 sections and putting this bracket in the other side now. So this is going in there just like that. And again, it's going to be held in just here with a BP screw. So now that's sort of like one piece. That will enable me now to put this back on, which is just going over the top here. Just making sure everything's going together absolutely fine. That looks good. And again, held in with 2 BP screws just down the centre there. So one there, and one down the bottom. And as you see, this side is still loose. And to make that tight, we've got this bracket here to put in. That's just going to go into each point there. Make sure that goes in all the way. And that's holding that whole chair in place now. As you can see, we can still adjust the chair. That works good. All I've got left to do then is put this cover in the back, just push that in, and that will hide all the screws there. Now, the next thing I've got to do, just try to get this on my hand here, is to put this PMD little seat badge in. That's just going to go into the center of the seat here. But I am going to be going off-piste because Mike Lane does a replacement for these. Now, let me just show you the ones that we get with this. These are the badges here. That's what comes with the Fanhome pack. Now, Mike Lane's ones, as you can see here, are a little bit more of the scale that it needs to be. Slightly smaller, but still nice and sharp there. So I'm going to get this on the chair. So what you do is you see, you get the transfer sheet here. You just take this off the protective paper. You put the badge on there and you push down on that. That will transfer the stickiness of this to the back of the badge. I'm going to take that off now. And I'll just reapply this wax paper because I'm going to need that for the other one. And this goes in the chair just in the middle here, just on this seam. I'm being very gentle to put this on. Get it exactly where I want it and just push that down. How cool does that look? So, I mean, you can use the original ones. They come with it there. And they look just like this. These are slightly bigger though. You can see the size difference there. These are more fitting to that seat. So the fun bit now, we get to put this in the car. So before I put the chair in, I have got Mike Lane's mats now to put in permanently. Now on my Nissan Note, it's very similar that I do have heel and toe pads on my Nissan Note, but I've still got mats over the top of them. So I'm about to put these mats in. Now when we put these in, we want to make sure that the back side of this mat, just getting that under, is in front of these holes. One here and one the other side. Kind of like that. And then just get this into position like that there. Excellent. That will now enable us to put the lugs here into these 4 holes, and we're actually going to secure the seat with these 2 sections just here. So let's put that in. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's good. Held in with GP screws. So one there. Perfect. And just one on the other side here. So that chair is now fully in place, and as you can see, it can go backwards and forwards in there, but I'm going to leave it to where it is, just around about there for now. Now just for now, I will put the other mats in. I haven't actually secured these down to where they go yet, but they're going to kind of look like this when they're done. But that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. I like that. I love how that looks. Let me just show you here. Check that out. Now obviously I've got the black mats. They do come in tan as well, but they're on Mike Lane's website. But very happy. Perhaps in the next stages we're going to be doing the other seat. Who knows? But if you want to get this for yourself, once again, I have put the link down in the video description to the Fanhome website. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.